looking down their weapons, and I'm waiting for someone to make a call. I was a new guy. I'm waiting for someone above me in the chain of command to say, hey, move here, or hey, move forward, or make some kind of a decision. And as I'm waiting, no one's doing it. So I'm a new guy. I'm scared to say anything, and I know I shouldn't say anything, so I'm just waiting, and no one's giving an order. No one's giving any direction. So I wait longer. And this goes on for probably 30 seconds or a minute, which is a really long time when you're trying to take down a target. And finally, I said to myself, all right, I'm gonna see what's going on. So I actually point my weapon at the ceiling, and I take a step back, and I just look around. And I see that every single person in my platoon, including my platoon commander, including the assistant platoon commander, including the platoon leading petty officer, everyone is just focused on their weapons, and no one's making a decision. And I can see this. And because I'm looking around, and I'm detached from the scenario, just by 8 inches, I stepped back and looked around. I can see what decision needs to be made. And so I summoned up as much courage as I could as a new guy, because new guys don't make decisions. And I said, hold left, clear right, which is a basic command that we had rehearsed and we would practice. And I expected someone to say, shut up, Jocko. But instead they repeated the command. They all said, hold left, clear right, which means we were gonna execute it. And sure enough, the guys on the left held and the guys on the right cleared, and we got done. And instead of someone saying, hey, you need to keep your mouth shut, like one of the more senior guys said, hey, good job up there, way to make a call. So I looked at it and I said, wait a second, how could I have, as a new guy, have made a decision in that situation that was better than what the more senior, more experienced guys were making? And I realized it was because I took a step back and detached from it. So at that moment, I said to myself, okay, from now on, when I get into these tactical scenarios, I'm gonna take a step back, and I'm gonna try and look around, and I'm gonna try and detach myself from the chaos and the mayhem. And I started doing it all the time. In every tactical situation, in the land warfare, in the mountains, in the urban environments, I was doing it all the time. And I was able to see what was happening. It was like a superpower to be able to see what was happening and make decisions. And so then I actually started doing it when I was having conversations. And if you and I were in a disagreement and you started getting emotional, instead of me getting emotional back at you, I would just take a step back and be like, oh, okay, he's really concerned about this. Why is he so concerned? What does he see that I don't see? And I started actually just detaching all the time. And that became a very powerful tool in leadership that I use to this day.
First and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Wahavakah Kodash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahawashi, and who we reverence. And honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and those of you that are in the spirit, and to the hopeful and elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning across the globe in the hopes of being saved. This lesson is going to be a very, very, very serious lesson. I did say I was going to do this, so it's time. This lesson is going to be based on they were all about control, power. Okay, they were power tripping. I'm talking about the chief priests, the Pharisees, and the elders. Okay? Because at that time, when Yahawashi was on the scene, there was already a setup. There was already a setup. Okay? You had Herod, you had Caesar. Okay? And remember, there was a Roman system in place, a Roman Empire. Okay, and you had our people are known for what? Making contracts, making deals, and joining themselves to the heathen. Okay, so I want to go straight to, so it was about power. Because a man may say, oh, it's not about lording and all this and all that. But no, it was. The wicked, not all of the Pharisees were wicked, the wicked chief priests and Pharisees, they were all about keeping their position. So it was a power struggle. Let's go to John, and we're going to go to 11. I'm not teaching the scriptures like they should be. They're deceiving you. John 11 and 44. Start at 43. And when he had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. This was Lazarus, a very good friend of Yahushua, a very good friend of Yahushua. Okay, but he was only asleep. Okay, and the people thought he was dead. So Yahushua what rose him. Okay, and when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound in hand with foot and with grave clothes, and his face was bound with. And that king Yahushua saith unto them, loose him and let him go. So he rose him from what? A dead state. Okay, from the dead. Okay. When many of the Jews which came to Mary had seen the things which Yahushua did, believed on him. So guess what? Many were being converted by the miracles that were being seen. But some of them went their way to the Pharisees. So some of them snuck off. Okay? And you always have one or two that would do that. They would sneak off and they would go like a spy and told them what things Yahushua had done. When gathered the chief priests, so they were gathered, because remember there was a congregation. Okay? They were gathered in the group, and they also had buildings that were given to them by the Romans. And they were tax exempt. Just like today you have the 501(c) charter. And told him what things Yahushua had done. Then it gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees, a council. A council is a gathering of men that have what? A plan, an agenda. And said, what do we? In other words, what are we going to do? For this man doeth many miracles. Okay? And you had people following Yahushua when they saw these miracles, including some of the Pharisees themselves. Okay? If we let him thus alone, in other words, if we leave him alone, if we let him be, all men will believe on him. So their whole MO was not to bring you to Yahushua. These men, they were not for Yahushua. Or they would not have said that all men would believe on him. So it's the same thing today. You would have men that are under Esau. They can't teach you about Yahushua. They cannot fully teach you about Yahushua. All men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So guess what that was? That was a power struggle. They were in need of power. Why? Because they knew their positions were going to be taken away. They had a job to do. They were working for the other side. They were working for the Romans. So they had to uphold whatever the Romans, whatever Esau was telling them, they had to do it, or their position would get taken away, the authority. So they were all about status, position, rank. They were corrupt. This is why you have to read the scriptures. Okay? So now let's go straight to Luke 12. Okay? Nothing's wrong with rank. Nothing is wrong with rank, because you need rank. You need order. Because without order, it's chaos. Okay? And when there's chaos, people just run amok. Okay? And that's where you get the confusion. That's where you get skirmishes and all this stuff happening. But guess what? Even within the rank has to be right. Even within the men that are high up, they need to be right. You can't be partial. You can't be looking at a man that's younger and saying, well, you know, he's younger. Well, we understand your brothers are younger, but how long was Yahushua's ministry? How long was it? It wasn't for the whole 33 years. It was for 3 years. How long was Paul's ministry? Paul said he warned the people what for the 3 years of his ministry. 3 years. I believe it was. If I'm wrong, correct me. 3 years, so he didn't need a lot of time. In them 3 years, there was discernment, there was judgment, everything. Spiritual power in the 3 years. So it doesn't take you 20, 30 years to be spiritual, to have faith, to correct, excuse me, at the door. Let me just speak. So it doesn't take you that long. It's showing you it doesn't take you that long to have discernment, to have judgment. Okay? And every member of the elect, the hopeful elect, you are a leader. I'm speaking to you brothers out there. You are a leader. You could be in this truth 2 years, 1 year. You're becoming built up to become a leader so you can lead. And it starts with ourselves. Okay? Let's go to Luke 12 and 1. A lot of men, they want to be leaders. They want the rank, but they don't know how to deal with it. And I know it's easier said than done, because not everyone, it's like, what would you do if you was in that position yourself? So we know it's easier said than done. Okay? But you can't be partial. You may know someone, and you may know they're going off, but you're defending them. That makes you wicked. You can't do that. You don't want to rebuke him. I've heard over and over again, I'm just not confrontational. Well, you gotta grow up. You gotta get, that's emotions. Oh, you're not confrontational, but when it comes to someone you don't like, then that doesn't count. That's being a flipping hypocrite. That's being a hypocrite. You're not confrontational only when it applies to those that you don't like. That's being a hypocrite, and the Lord Jehovah will expose you and destroy you if you don't repent from that spirit. Just because I don't mention things straight away doesn't mean I don't see it. Let's go to Luke 12. Oh man. In the meantime, when they were gathered together, an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trod one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples. So you also had the disciples, which the 12 of them, and you had a multitude of people that did believe in Yahweh, which would also be classed as disciples. And he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees. So the wicked Pharisees, they had leaven. What does leaven do? It spreads. A little bit of leaven in the whole lump. And leaven, we know is pride. And there's different forms of leaven. Any type of form of wickedness can be classed as what? Leaven. Which needs to be what? Purged out. And Yahweh was saying, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Okay? So they were dealing, bear me just a minute, to get this in the right order. They were dealing with hypocrisy. That was the leaven. That was their sin. It was hypocrisy, because they were telling you one thing, but they were not practicing that amongst themselves, which made them corrupt, which made them wicked. Okay? Which is hypocrisy. So that's what they were teaching. Hypocrisy. Okay? Hypocrisy. How comes it coming up? Bear me just a minute. Bear me just a minute. This is how serious this truth is. You got to keep that same energy, not just when it comes to younger brothers, when it comes to brothers amongst you. You got to be able to say, you know what? I don't agree with that. That's not right. Even though you're with this man in the camp. And a hypocrite is an actor. Okay, that's what a hypocrite is. Someone that's an actor. Bear me just a minute. Hypocrisy. The sin of pretending to virtue or goodness, and imitation of person's speech and gestures. Hypocrisy. Let's further get into it. Okay. What else? To play a part, to pretend. So you got men, and this is what you got to understand. Remember, it says, if we believe in him, he shall take away our place. So you would have to be playing a part. You're just playing a part. You're just acting. That would make you a hypocrite. That's why I said men that have sold out, they're actors. They're hypocrites, because they have no leg to stand on. They're not fighting. They don't believe. Can Yahweh deliver a man that's sold out? That's not up to me. That's up to Yahweh. The scriptures, any sin can be forgiven except from the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. But I wouldn't want to take that chance. Okay. So baby, hypocrite, insincerity by virtue of pretending to have qualities of belief that you do not really have. So these men, they didn't have them qualities. They didn't really have it. They didn't really have it. That's why everything was outwardly an expression or agreement that is not supported by real conviction. So you shouldn't be doing a video And at the end of the video, it's like, all right, you know, you're not. There's no real conviction to yourself. The first person you convince is you convince is yourself that you believe in this truth. You know, okay? You'll be doing a video. Oh, anyway, you know, your mind ain't really there because you have men. And again, I'm just gonna be real. Yes, you have men that have taken a bag. You may ask me, well, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the elders of Great Milton? No, well, you figure it out. Only you know if you're sincere. Okay? For there is nothing covered. We're still on Luke 12 and 2. For there is nothing covered. In other words, nothing hidden. There's nothing hidden. And sometimes you've got to ask yourself, alright, this man's got 14,000 views. How come his channel ain't being taken down? He's got a big platform. So you have a big platform. People are listening. You have influence. Okay? You have an influence. And if you don't have any integrity, even Esau knows, he watches the videos and he knows those that have integrity. He knows those he can go to and give them a bit of money. And he knows those that he can't go to and do that. Okay? So there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed. Everything's going to be revealed. Everything. Who's really about Yahushua, who the Spirit is dealing with and who it ain't. Neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, and why was this said? Because they were what? Hypocrites. So they were hiding things. Okay? That all that damage control rubbish, Yahweh's going to do away with that very soon. Therefore, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness, and why did it say spoken in the darkness? Because they had secret counsels, shall be heard in the light. It's going to come out into the open. And that which you have spoken in the air, in the closets, secret meetings, in your temples shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So everything is going to be made known. Who's really about this truth and who ain't? Who's compromised and who ain't? Everything. Okay, you try to save face. When you're real, you don't need to save face. Okay. So bear me just a minute. Mark 10 and 42. Baba Kashar, Baba Kashar. Okay. Now let's go to Mark 10 and 42. And I hope you brothers and sisters that are listening and learning are getting a more of an understanding. Okay. Let's go to Mark 10 and 42. Because a lot of men, they won't teach you this. Okay, let's go to Mark 10 and 42. But Yahushua called them to him, and this when there was a bit of contention of who should be the greatest. Should that be James, John? Can they sit amongst you? Okay. This is when it was asked of the mothers, okay, of James and John's, okay. Actually, it wasn't the mothers. So like, and James and John's son of Zebedee come with him, saying, "Master, what shall we do to serve you for the Yeah, they wanted to sit on the side of what, the right hand side and left hand side of what Yahweh shine, but that was not up to him. It was up to the Father. So this is what Yahweh said. This is Mark 10 and 42. But Yahushua called Rem to him and saith unto Rem. So he was going to, listen to this, he's going to let you know how you deal with each other. Ye know that ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them. So the other nations, look how the other nations rule. Just look, examine how the other nations rule each other. Okay? And it says they exercise lordship. In other words, tyranny. Okay? We're not supposed to be like that amongst one another at all. Okay? We're not supposed. The servant is serving. The servant is a leader. Okay? And their great ones exercise authority. They're great ones. They're leaders. Exercise authority over them. They practice authority. Excuse me. And that's what power does to you. If you're not examining yourself, and it gets to the point where a younger brother speaking, he's in the spirit. He may be even in the spirit more than you. But because you're so high-minded, you don't want to listen. What you don't want to humble yourself into what he's got to say. Okay? But so shall it be, not among you. So we're not supposed to be like the other nations, how they are when it comes to ruling. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister. Okay? So you're great. You're supposed to be what? A minister, and a greater minister. Okay? And whosoever of you will be the chiefest, the highest, shall be servant of all. You see? Because a servant that's already a true leader. Someone that's serving more than they're giving orders. You give orders, but you want to make sure you're serving more. But even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, to give his life as a ransom for many. And that's Yahweh Shai. What so much a better example than Yahweh Shai? To minister. I came not to be ministered unto, but to do the ministering, to do the serving. That's integrity. This is what Yahweh was teaching me. This is part of the inner man. Think cover the truth to get vain glory, to be glorified. Oh, I'm just so great. You think, if you're so great, you better be a great servant. And you better be serving the right way. Without partiality. Not for money, not for none of that. Okay? And really there was another scripture it talks about, because this is just in Mark, and there's another scripture on this, it talks about those that are benefactors. And when you go into a benefactor, what's it? It's a title of honor conferred of such as had done their country's service. So another word for a benefactor is what? A philanthropist, a worker of good. So you're supposed to be what? Serving the fellow Achion. Not so much those that are on your level, high up, the younger brothers. Stop forgetting about the youngers. Okay, a lot of the time they say it's young and old. I believe it's more than young and old. I believe it's more than that. It's not just that. It's a power struggle. And we started off and read, it said, if they shall take away our place, they shall take away our place if all men will believe in him. So that's part of that power struggle. So if any man tells you, well, we're not doing this just to get on you, and not, men are trying to attain their position here in this world, their authority. Okay? Which you maintain authority, but there's a way you maintain the authority. Okay? And that's what Yahweh Shai was teaching his men, how to deal with each other in the right way. Okay? How is it you've been in this truth 10, 15 years? You don't even know how to deal with your brother the right way. Okay? Go to 1 Peter 5 and 3. Neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, okay, that you want to act like Gaddafi, okay, in Libya, but being examples to the flock. So you're leading by example. Leaders lead from the front, not from the back, from the front. Okay? They put in the work. And when they say something, they're going to follow through with it. Okay? Neither as being lords of the Most High's heritage, but being examples unto the flock, neither as lording of. Bear with this minute. Hold on a minute. Yet neither being lords of the Most High's heritage, but being examples unto the flock. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, and who's the chief shepherd? Who's the chief ruler? Yahweh Shai. And he's watching you, seeing how you deal with his little ones. And the little ones are insignificant. Okay? They may be insignificant in your eyes. Why? Because you're too flipping high-minded. Okay? When a young man tells you something, you get an attitude. Okay? You better grow up. You better grow up in your mind real fast. Okay? And when the chief shepherd shall appear, you shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Likewise, a lot of men go into the scriptures, but they don't bring it down. You younger, see, yes, we understand the younger men, but this is what individuals they only concentrate on the younger. Submit yourselves unto the elder, which we know you submit yourselves unto those that are over you in Yahweh Shai. Okay? Yeah, all of you be subject one to another. Okay, so yeah, you're subject to your leaders. Okay, and there's a reason why these leaders are over you, because Yahweh has set them over you. But remember, they don't belong to you, they belong to Yahweh. You're there to guard over them and be clothed with humility. A lot of men of rank, they're not clothed with humility. For the Most High resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. So grace is being shown to the proud. Mercy is being shown to the proud. The chief priests and Pharisees, let's be real, they were proud. They were proud. You could not tell them nothing. Humble yourself therefore under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time. So guess what? Those that have been humiliated because they have to, because they're going to be exalted in due time. Okay, a lot of men want to be exalted here. So if you want to be exalted here, that's ultimately what? A sign of what? Pride. That's what it is. It's pride. Because you wasn't brought here. You wasn't brought to the shores of America to make it, to be lifted up. So you can put yourself out there as some. That's what I'm saying. This way you got to be careful, because you may be speaking about Alizé and the Zealots, about his pride, about he wants to be seen in the music videos, which is the pride of life. But you may have that same spirit upon you. The same spirit that the Sakaris have, you may have that same spirit. Okay? You're so high-minded, nobody can tell you nothing. A young man can't tell you nothing. Read Jeremiah. Read Jeremiah, I believe it's 20. He was commanded to get on the kings, the princes, and the priests. A priest smote him, a priest smacked him in his face. Just for Jeremiah saying, look, you're gonna go into captivity. This is gonna happen. All your jewels, everything's gonna be taken. The kingdom's gonna be taken from under you. You think that was an easy thing to do? No, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to speak the words of Yahweh Shai, and that's gonna cause what? An offense. You know, they were looking at Yahweh Shai when he was on the scene as a troublemaker. I wouldn't say he was. He was just teaching the word, but they saw him as a troublemaker, trying to stir. No, he wasn't. It's just that you had men that were not sincere. That's why it says in Matthew 23, let's go straight to Matthew 23, Baba Kashar. This is why it says this. Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples. Let's get the chapter. Saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So what does Moses' seat represent? Rank. And Moses, he was very, Moses, under Yahweh Shai, he was one of the most meekest men upon earth. Okay? But the scribes and Pharisees, these were not meek. The wicked ones, these were not meek men. They were desiring to sit in that seat. The rank, they're about the rank, they're about the reputation. Okay? Saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. So he was warning you of the chief priests, the elders, and the Pharisees, the wicked ones. Therefore, whatsoever they bid you, observe. So we say, you listen to them. You observe what they're telling you. Not observe and do. You do it, because it's according to the law. But do not after their works, for they say and do not. And you wouldn't want to do after their works anyway. Why? Because they were compromised. So they definitely were not for Yahweh Shai. But when it came to the law, yeah, it was the Most High's law, so you follow it. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne. Okay? Bind me to what? To tie down. Okay, and heavy burdens, particular things they were trying to do. It tells you in Colossians and other scriptures, even in Hebrews, they were trying to get you to do things with the washing of hands, ceremonial stuff that they were not doing themselves. And grievous to be borne and lay them on men's shoulders, which is what oppressing you. But they themselves were not moved in with one of their fingers. Say they were good at talking, but they were not doing these things themselves. For all their work they do to be seen of men, they make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garment. The phylacteries were the encasings of the laws upon your heads. Okay? Which had the laws encased within that strap. Which was, the phylacteries were not wicked. Phylacteries are not wicked. But they had that casing on their head so people could see that they kept the law more than the average citizen of Israel. Okay? And enlarge the borders of their garments. so they could be seen, they could be noticed. Okay, just that women do that. They do things to be noticed. And love the uppermost rooms at the feast and the chief seats in the sink. So just letting you know, Yahushua was saying, these individuals, they love the uppermost rooms at the feast. And Yahushua always said, take the low seat and the chief seats in the synagogues. So they want to be known. They have to be known. They have to be seen. If they're not seen, if they're not doing a live show, it doesn't feel right. And the greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, rabbi, which represent what master. Be not called rabbi, for one is your master, even Mashiach, and you are called brethren. So you're gonna have men. They want you to worship them rather than Yahweh Shai. Okay? But be not called rabbi, for one is your master, even Mashiach, and all you are brethren, and call no man your father upon earth, for one is your father which is in heaven. Neither be you called master, for one is your master, even Mashiach, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. So Yahweh was setting down the blueprint. Okay? And whosoever shall exalt himself. So you've got men exalting himself in this world. So hold on a minute. You do know men talk about, sodomy, LGBT. So if you're exalting yourself in a kingdom that promotes that, that would mean you're for it. So he that exalteth himself shall be abased. Okay? You're going to be brought down. And you're not going to know how to deal with it because you've always been high. You've always been high up there. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So those that are humbling themselves right now, they're going to be exalted in due time. Don't know when, but they're going to be exalted. But we don't want to be exalted here. Really, we want to be exalted in the kingdom to come when Yahweh comes. Okay? And within this walk, there's going to be times where you're exalted, but you're not going to stay like that in this kingdom, because if Yahweh had you exalted in this kingdom, it would get to your head and you become corrupt. Okay? So this is what we don't want. But woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. Okay? That's that controlling, overbearing spirit. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. So men that know they're wicked, in this truth, they're going to try to stop you from entering in. Okay? Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and they were doing that as well. They were manipulating the scales as well, and for a pretense make a long prayer. And the scriptures tell you not to make long prayer as well. Make it short. And they were doing it before everyone. Therefore you shall receive greater condemnation, damnation. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you can pass sea and land and make one proselyte. And I've even seen this in the truth. Men that have been in this, like newly coming, and you make this one proselyte, this newcomer, it's going to say it, and when he is made, you make him twofold more child of hell than yourself. You make him more wicked as you, because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know what's going on. Because he's following you, you make him worse. Okay? Woe unto you, you blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, and whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, it is a debtor. He is a debtor. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater the gold of the temple that sanctify the gold. You can equate the gold with what the individual, and you can equate the temple with what a body, which is greater. Both of them need each other. And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whosoever swear by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater the gift or the altar that sanctify the gift. Therefore, whosoever shall swear by the altar, sweareth it by it, and all things that are upon, and whosoever shall swear by the temple, sweareth it by it, and by him dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven, sweareth by the throne of the Most High, and by him that sitteth thereon. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, and that's what Yahweh was warning us of, the hypocrisy. For you make clean the outside of the cup, so like I'm moving too fast. For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumming, okay, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law. Omitted means to push aside, to divert. Okay, that's why men are not really dealing with particular situations unless another man's telling them, well, you got to, no, you should, if you see things, say it. Okay? Judgment. So these are matters of the Lord: judgment, mercy, faith. Okay? If a man's condemned, he ain't gonna deal with judgment, mercy, and faith. Okay? He's gonna be partial in his judgment. These ought ye to have done and have not to leave the other undone. So Yahushua was letting them know, these are the things you deal with. Why are you so concerned with all the outer? Deal with judgment, deal with mercy, deal with faith. Ye blind guys which strain at a gnat, the smallest of matters, and swallow a camel. Woe unto you scribes, hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. In other words, wickedness and bribery. Okay, with higher positions also comes bribery. Oh no, let's sweep that under the rug, they'll hide that. That's what happens. And more lies lead to more lies. Thou blind Francis, cleanse first that which is within the cup and the platter. So you want to make sure that your inward parts are clean. That the outside and then may be clean also. So it starts within your mind. Okay? Woe unto you scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you like whited sepulchres, tombs which indeed appear beautiful outwards, but within you are full of dead man's bones and uncleanness. So you may appear to look good on the outside, but within you got demons all up in your inward parts. Okay? When a brother does a lesson, you feel a particular way, you get angry, but then you're doing videos upon other brothers, how they need to be in order, and you're not even in order. Your mind ain't right. Oh man. Even so, you also, bear this minute. Woe unto you scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like white sepulchres which indeed appear beautiful outward, within are dead, full of dead man's bones and of all uncleanness. Even so you outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. And that's what Yahushua was warning us of. Woe unto you scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, because you build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous. And you know what's worrying? Well, it's not worrying, but you know what men don't notice? The scriptures talk about Yahushua being betrayed by elders, chief priests, and the Pharisees. So where are they today? Have you ever asked yourself, hold on, it says he was betrayed, he was, all these things you're reading up on. So where are they today? Everybody is back here today. So where are they today? Where are they today? You see, no, but nobody wants to speak on these topics. Where are they today? Are you telling me all the chief priests, all the elders, because you've got men that are also called elders as well. Are they all in IUIC? Are all the elders in IUIC? These are questions that need to be asked. See, a lot of men are not being spiritual. Okay? You may be standing next to a man that was against you in your past life. That was against Yahweh Shai. That's going to receive judgment. Woe unto you, spare me just a minute. It was like, woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, sepulchres, because you build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, decorate it, and say, if we had not been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. So that means they were responsible. They are them same people coming back here again today. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are children of them which killed the prophets, and they're flipping in the truth today. Today. It's not likened unto one group. I mean, no, not all the Pharisees were wicked, not all of them, and there were some that did repent. But this particular chapter is for the wicked Pharisees. Fill ye up then the measure of your father. So, if he's saying fill up the measure of your fathers, it's like, alright, do what your fathers are going to do. And you have men that are playing it out in the spirit. They're doing what they've... See, they can't help it. They're only doing what their fathers done. Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hell? Okay? And that's what Yahweh Shai called them, serpents, but generation of vipers, because that's another thing with them. They were not straightforward as well. They were snakes, slippery tongued. They were speaking in code. They were not straightforward. They were slippery. Yeah. They were like vipers. Okay? Just like Esau, the devil. The devil is not direct. Okay? You got men like that in the truth. The same thing. Okay? Use your stupid ass code words. Okay? Fill out in the measure of your fathers. serpents, you generational vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them shall you kill and crucify. This ain't talking about Esau, and some of them shall you scourge in your synagogues, your buildings, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zechariah, son of Barachias, who you slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I gather thy children together, even as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings, and you would not. This is old Jerusalem, Jerusalem. So our people had a hand in that. Okay, this lesson went a bit different, but the premise of the lesson is what? Leadership. And those that are true leaders, they're not going to be compromised. And they're going to know how to deal with those that are below them of lower rank and those that are above them on that same level. Okay? There's no partiality in judgment. So with this lesson, I hope this was edifying. I hope I got the point across. Until the next time, shalom.